Just setting up the live stream, won't be long. Okay, I think we're there. So, we are going to be working through as many missions as we can this evening to try and get a bit further with the simulator. Just sorting out wires and volumes and what have you. So, I've still got my Beckett Transport Company. I've still only got the Cessna at the moment. I'm going to have to get from 250,000 credits up to about 2 million to be able to go and afford to buy a second-hand caravan, and then I can make more money. So that's exactly what we're going to do this evening. We're just going to do cargo mission after cargo mission after cargo mission after cargo mission. We're going to do it on Freelancer. And we're going to try and get away with what we can in terms of... So here we go, look, standard air freight. 2 hour, 30-minute journey. It's near to where we are. So if I don't touch anything, will this go on live? Or is it going to change the time? Oh no, it's starting at 9:10 in the morning. Okay, that's fine. So we'll accept the mission. We'll transfer the closest aircraft we've got to the place we're taking off from, which that's going to cost us a couple of thousand credits, but that's nothing. Okay. So before we get started, I should probably tell everybody, last night I did the 737 license, and it was remarkably straightforward. It doesn't do a full flight. It does an approach, and then you have to call, or sorry, the examiner calls a go around. So at 300 feet you have to hit the throttles, 15 degrees nose up, climb out to 3,000 feet and vector off to a particular waypoint. And I got about 99 point something % on it somehow. But obviously I've got a lot of practice with flying the big jets because I've pretty much written the book on them, so it'd be a surprise if I couldn't do it. Anyway, so I've got the 737 license in my pocket for when we get there within career mode. Not there yet. There's an awful lot of requirements in terms of number of flights you have to have done on lesser things to get into the 737, or to get into the big jets, basically. So, we need £171 of fuel. So if we go into manage and then fuel and payload and manage fuel for our aeroplane, we've probably got enough, but we can just... Okay, so we can roll the mouse wheel to fill our plane. We'll just fill it up. Okay, so refuel, pay the bill, 1,500 credits or so. Come back, and we'll go fly. So if we get bored doing the missions one after another this evening, I'll go and redo the 737 test to show everybody it. It's very straightforward. Okay, so Beckett Transport is the company. So I imagine the camera will go into the back of his head, because it usually does. There we go. And then a walk over. So we don't actually have to do any of this. I can prove this. If we go Alt-N, and we're sitting in the airplane.
Are you ready?
And
great. It's Sarah, your dispatcher. You know? Just a quick reminder about today's job. You have materials behind you. Standard shipment for one of our clients based in Saint-Remy and Rollet. Expected in no time at Charmile. Our skids are built to handle turbulence, but maintain a constant flight speed.
So you need to sit and wait and listen to this bit.
All
It's a bit of a
relevant
pain,
information
but
is in your flight packet, which is uploaded on your map as a reference. Safe travels.
okay. So we can skip straight to takeoff. We don't have to do any of this. It will take us to holding short. Okay. So from here on, we have to go and do it all, otherwise we'll get told off.
Victor Sierra Delta, taking off runway 28 south departure.
So we're not communicating with tower, we're just flying basically. Again, you have to watch your speed on the taxiways, but you can taxi quickly on runways. So take off. So what we're going to do first to make our life incredibly easy is stop first. We're going to go and set the heading bug to the direction we're going, and we'll go and preset heading mode on the autopilot, and we'll also go and set, say, 1500 feet or so, so we haven't got to change the altitude bug much. We could also go and set vertical speed mode. I can't remember if it takes your vertical speed when you jump in, so we've done everything except turn the autopilot on, really. So airspeed's alive, 40 knots, 50 knots, 55, and rotate. It's a little bit bumpy. So trim the aeroplane out for this climb, so I don't have to do anything. So we want to go to 900 feet initially, but then it will give us higher. So we'll go and put autopilot on. So the plane's now flying itself, climbing at 700 feet a minute, continuing on the direction we were going. When we pass through 900 feet, we'll get further instruction. There we go. 1900 feet. And we're wanting to turn left. So we're going to use heading mode just to turn us towards the GPS track. Let's just lessen the climb. Now, autopilots aren't always great at getting out of stalls. Yeah, look, it's crushing the aeroplane. They are sometimes useless at it. So I went a bit optimistically there on 700 feet a minute. We're obviously heavy. 500 would have been a better choice. You don't get penalised for stalls, by the way. So if we go back to heading mode, autopilot back on, and 500 feet a minute until we get to 1900 feet. Also, that is only a guide. It's your initial altitude. After that, you can pick the altitude you like. So it may be worth us having a look at the map to see what the elevations are like along the way. So with that in mind, let's go and run LittleNavMap in the background, because it has that lovely altitude plot built in. I haven't had the sim crash for ages, but then I've not got hardly anything in my community folder. So I'm going with as the sim comes out of the box, really. So whoops, set that as our departure. And where were we going again? LFLV. set that as the destination. We're flying at 1900 feet at the moment. What I want to see is this plot. So yeah, it would be nicer if we went to 3000 feet really. And we'll come off the throttle a bit now. So Alt R plus plus plus. So coming up to 3000 feet, it's holding about 80 knots in the climb, which is about what you'd expect. And then we'll speed back up again and we can pull the throttle back. Okay, that's it. Outside air temperature is 6 degrees, so we haven't got any temperature issues to sort out. We just need to count down the mileage until we get there and then sort out our landing, and that's mission done. So I had the flaps up already, I've got physical controls, so you can see. So I've got the time speeded up so we can whiz across the landscape. So while we're waiting to get closer to Sharm El, let's go and have a look. So we're still on heading bug mode, look. So if I go and put ourselves across the course slightly, we'll come back towards it. We've got a crosswind which is pushing us further away from the course. That's why that's happening. So I just wanted to go and have a look. So when we come into Sharm El, so variable 2 knots, who knows what runway we'll get then. We know when we get to within about 4 miles of it, 5 miles of it, we'll get instruction. So if we had a 5 mile range ring, okay, where's the range ring? Oh, there it is. Oh, I've typed the wrong number in, haven't I? Remove the range ring, add range ring, we put probably 500 or something. There we go. So that's about the point where the ATC will kick in and ask us to do anything. The other thing that came up last night in a flight which I don't know if it's going to be working in the sim today actually. Let's go and have a look. If we look at the tablet and go into here, now it's showing things tonight. Map settings, navigation, airspaces. So it's supposed to be showing airspaces on here and it's not. So I think that's a bug. Unless it just doesn't do it on all layers, on all maps. If I go to default, no. But what we discovered yesterday is you can get penalties for flying through restricted airspaces. So if we go to planner.flightsimulator.com and look at the navigation system in here, and where are we going from and to? So if I go flight plan and copy this to the clipboard, go back in here, go to route, paste that route in and save that, and that's put it on this map. What we're looking for, yeah, there's a restricted area there. I need to be careful. If I go inside that red circle, I'll get told off. There's one to the other side of the route over there, look. So as long as we stay on the route, so if I say nav now, and the aeroplane will fishtail around because it's rubbish when it's speeded up. But as long as we're on the straight line route between the airfields will miss the restricted area LFOA. Yeah, so it's that one. If we had accidentally flown into that circle, we would have been hit with a penalty. There's another one there. But that's the one, look. So it is worth doing a little bit of homework. Just to make sure you don't fly through the airspaces, restricted airspaces. So we're at 3,000 feet, chugging along quite happily. Time is speeded up. We've 50 miles to run. Carrying lots of cardboard boxes, as per usual. So Echoes is saying skipping the walk around doesn't cost you anything. Apparently not. The bit you have to actually do is from the point you're... Of course, you will miss out on bonuses, I guess. We'll find out in a moment. Actually, no, I don't think you do miss out on bonuses. We'll find out. We'll compare and contrast. We've skipped it on this one. We'll do it on the next one and see what differences it makes. But monetarily, it makes no difference. It may do in terms of experience, I guess. So we're down to 30 miles to go. Shouldn't take too long. We'll have a look at mapping some keys to turn the assistance off as well. I think it's just a facet of missions that the rectangles appear regardless of what assistance you've got switched on or off. We are doing missions, Little Trader. Just saw your comment. So we're speeded up in the sim in between departure and destination airport. And we're coming into Sharm carrying a light cargo in a company Cessna on a freelance mission. So another few minutes and we'll get there. So by letting the sim run en route, we don't penalise ourselves any money, basically. Now, this is getting turbulent, isn't it? I'm ready on Alt R and minus to turn the speed back down. So I had to map the keys for increasing and decreasing the sim rate. So 9 miles to run, 8 miles to run, 7 miles to run, 6 miles to run, Alt R, minus, minus, minus. We're back on normal time. So let's turn head tracking back on and have a look around and admire the French countryside. So you can see on the map over here we're not going to do the normal run in, we'll just look for the final marker when it appears. So this should turn up anytime soon. It's usually between 4 and 5 miles that this will come to life on a VFR flight. So we can start descending. So 2,000 feet commanded, vertical speed. 1,000 feet a minute. Cut the power to 50%. Start richening the mixture back up as we descend. And we have the opportunity to now contact the arrival airport and they'll tell us the runway. There it is, so we're going
Lima
left.
Foxtrot, Lima Victor traffic Cessna Golf. November Victor, Sierra Delta, 4 miles northwest 2700. Forward inbound to land runway 19er.
So yeah, you don't have to follow the traffic pattern at all. All I'm doing is putting my airplane between the runway, or sorry, in a line with the final marker and the runway. So let's turn the autopilot off. May as well go and fly the last little bit. So there's the runway over there. There's the final marker. So we'll bring our aeroplane in an arcing descent down towards final. We will get a prompt to do another communication as we come through final. I've missed it in the past and got a penalty for missing it in the past. Right, let's start losing some speed. If you can't lose speed, you can always side slip the nose up out of the turn. And look at the speed falling off now. Get within flaps range. Flaps down, bring the side slip back. And we're directly into the wind, 4 knot headwind. There's hardly any wind to worry about then. So remember, as we come through the final marker, there we go, we have to press enter again to announce finals.
Lima Foxtrot, Lima Victor traffic Cessna Golf. November Victor Sierra Delta is on final runway 19er to land.
So we have to take it as far as the parking, or sorry, the first stop to avoid penalties. So we have to roll on the runway at least. Taxi round, and our job here is done. Bring the flaps back up. We don't even have to worry about the lights. Obviously in the real world you'd be turning off the strobes and landing lights as we come off the runway. It won't penalise us for it. So as soon as we get to hold short, we can start using the shortcut keys to skip to the end.
Lima Foxtrot, Lima Victor traffic Cessna Golf. November Victor Sierra Delta is taxiing to parking.
So we'll press Alt and N rather than bother taxiing, and then Control Shift E to shut the engine down. And we'll see what that affects us in terms of experience by doing any shortcuts. So we got no bonus, but that may mean there was no bonus involved. But we did an almost perfect flight, and we cut corners all over the place, look. So we made 107, so we tripled the money. The original income was 30, so there was no inflow or no change to the payout based on us taking shortcuts. I have no idea what the levels are for. So we're up to nearly 400,000 credits now. So we're going to do another mission. So yeah, I'm doing all of this for my own company. I own one little Cessna. I ought to go and check the condition of it. See if I need to spend any money on it. So if we go to Beckett Transport and go to the little aeroplane here, Manage Aircraft, and it will tell us, we have to do an update. 3,000 credits just to have a look. It's good across the board. It's not damaged. So we're going to do another mission. So we are here. Obviously, nearby missions will not involve a transfer charge to get the airplane there, or not as much. We're just going to have a look and we're going to pick the most expensive one we can find. Standard air freight, 37,000 credits. That's the one. LXLF to LFVE. So while we're here, LXLF. Oh, the Amazon Echo in the room just heard me say that particular sequence of characters and thought I'd talk to it. LXLF. Okay, if I got that wrong. LXLF. Interesting. It doesn't come up on a search, but it comes up on the map. Says departure. And we're going to LFVE. Set that as a destination. So there's our route. And just accept the... Oh, have we got enough fuel? £183. Well, if we just accept it anyway. And we're going to use this one. And we'll check the fuel once we're in the hangar with it. So we need at least £183 of fuel. We have got 227, so we should be fine. And come back. And we'll go fly. Make sure my controls are in starting positions. So just to break this up a bit, I'm going to run through getting the airplane ready this time myself, but we'll shortcut the taxi. So we can shortcut this, it won't hurt it, but we're going to go do it just to give ourselves something to do so we're not. There we go. So that completes the preparing the aeroplane. We can jump then into the aeroplane. We can press Control E, but for a bit of fun, just for the moment, let's go and do this ourselves. So, battery on, arm the standby battery, select both fuel tanks, beacon light on, ready to start the engine, nav light on, mixture to rich, and check the shutoffs are in, they are, and engine's running.
Hi there.
Hi.
It's Laurette. Now that you're all set up, let me go over the important details with you. Boxes of goods on board. This is a very time-critical shipment for one of our clients.
Oh, they always say that.
Needs to get to Corbinod promptly. The sensitive cargo containers have a good tolerance with turbulences to preserve the cargo, but it's crucial you keep a smooth
So
yet
we
quick
want to
flight.
go and calibrate the
If you
altimeter.
also ensure timely arrival, you maintain our high standards of service excellence and
And
everyone's
let's
satisfied.
have a look at the runway we're
You
taking
have
off
all
from.
the pertinent information
We're
in
taking
your
off runway
flight
03.
packet as a reminder.
Or
Have a
21. If we go and look
safe
at flight
flight.
plan, runway 21. Yeah, so we're here. We've got a taxi ahead of us, but we're not going to do the taxi, obviously. I just wanted to start the engine up for something to do, really. So we can press enter to get taxi clearance,
Châteauroux ground, Cessna Golf.
but
November
we can
Victor.
go ON. It's not going to hurt anything.
Cessna Golf, November
So-
Victor Sierra Delta taxi to and hold short of runway 21 using taxiway Tango, Tree Tango 2 Bravo. Contact tower on 1 Tree, 805 when ready.
Châteauroux Tower, Cessna Golf. November Victor Sierra Delta ready for east departure at runway 21.
So before we go any further, I'm going to go into settings and controls, and I'm going to see if we can find the taxi. So taxi ribbon, toggle taxi lights. That's the aircraft taxi lights, isn't it? Toggle taxi ribbon, right. Control Alt T. Let's just search and make sure that's not doing anything else. Search by input, Control Alt T. That's all it does. Okay, we'll also search for the boxes. I'm not sure what they're called. It lists them in assistances, doesn't it? Visual assistance, the flight path. Okay, so if we go flight path, interesting. So path, flight. Helps if you can spell. Is it flight assistance? What is flight assistance? Toggle the flight. No, that's the flight assistance panel. What about if I search for path? Anybody in the chat know what it's called? The setting for the boxes appearing or disappearing? I don't think we can. I think it's just part of the mission interface, to be honest. So we're not going to worry. Save them back and resume.
Cessna Golf, November Victor Sierra Delta QNH 10 Tree 9er East departure approved. Cleared for takeoff runway 21.
Cleared for takeoff runway 21 Cessna Victor Sierra Delta.
Okay, so when you do have controlled airfields, you do have to acknowledge everything. You can't miss steps. So runway 21 means we're going to be turning right in a moment, even though this goes left. That's the piano keys are just there. Or if I turn around here to show you them, look, there's the markers for landing. If you look further along, oh, it's in the mist. Can't actually see them, but we're turning right. We're going that way. So, as we did before, we're going to go and set the heading bug and set the initial altitude. They should have told us initial altitude. You would know before you take off. It's the last thing the controller's going to give you is METAR and initial altitude for climb out. And if you're following a procedure, obviously they'll name the procedure. But, yeah, it's a bit odd that they haven't done that. So we'll put 1600 feet on the target altitude anyway. We'll go and pre-select heading mode. We'll pre-select vertical speed. And based on what happened last time, we'll go for 500 feet a minute. Mixture's rich. We're at 500 feet. Time to go. We can have all the lights on. We can also go and put the pitot heat on there. So 55 knots off the ground. Just trimming the ailerons and the elevators. 75 knots is a pretty good speed to be looking for, so then we'll go and turn the autopilot on. So it's on, it's in heading mode.
Sierra Delta continue for east departure.
Chateauroux Tower, Cessna Golf. November Victor.
So climb
Sierra,
1900.
Delta continue for east departure.
And we can just start turning. See that we're travelling southwest at the moment, so we're turning towards east. That's what he's really talking about. Oh, this is the only problem with head tracking. I'm going to turn the head tracking off for a moment. So we'll just go and put ourselves on a cross or an intercept angle with the GPS track. We could do a direct to. You don't have to stick to the course, it won't penalise you for it. So, same as before, let's go and double check. So we've got this route. I'm going to copy, this is just me saving some time, I've copied the beginning and end. And I'm going to drop them into here. So there's our route. Yeah, said an error parsing, don't worry about that. So what we're looking for is any restricted airspaces. So that's the little dotted circle with an exclamation mark in the middle of it. So if you turn them on, then you'll see if there are any. And I can't see any. So if you turn them off, obviously. Oh, he says that. But they're higher altitudes, look, 3,000 up to 65,000. Sorry, yes. No, so it's 6,500. That should have a 0 in front of it. So as long as we don't go above 3,000 feet, we won't run into those airspaces. And we won't get penalised. Let's just check the others. So, oh, that's no, sorry, that's an airway. Can we get information on them? Class D, 115 for MSL.
Cessna Victor Sierra Delta leaving my airspace, frequency change approved.
Chateauroux Tower, Cessna Golf. November Victor Sierra Delta frequency change.
It makes me wonder, with us having to double check the, you know, what the controllers tell us, whether they've just missed it out at the moment. It's not going to tell us about. You see, the aeroplane should start turning sometime soon. Although this says the GPS track's further over to the left than LittleNavMap does, which is kind of interesting. If we turn the sectors on in LittleNavMap, we can see them as well. There's one of the restricted ones, look. So we are going to come close to one. And another one. And this worries me because we are to the left of this track. If we zoom in on this, we'll see the sectors. Okay, anyway, we want to save some fuel. How far across this is going. Makes you wonder what this... Oh, of course, is this going into the entry point of the runway? I'm just looking at see where this is rendering it from and to. Oh, it's from the beginning of the runway here, not from the center point of the airfield. That's why. That's why we don't appear to be on the track as accurately as we might like to think. Actually no, that would make it even worse, because that would be over here. We just need to keep an eye on this for the restricted airspaces. They may give us instruction. So Alt R 1, 2, 3. So having a little look on LittleNavMap, yeah, we're not going to be high enough. This is the thing. So where those restrictions are, they here? So once we get past them, we can climb to get past these hills, and then there's mountains towards the end, or not mountains, but bigger elevation changes. What's it called? The Plateau de Holleville, Champ d'Or Saucelle. Okay, so we just wait for the timers to count down. So have we still got the flaps down? The controller's up. Again, okay, that's a problem with if you skip. I need to write a note down about that and have it on a sticky note on the monitor or something. If you skip to the end of the taxi, the computer will have put your flaps down, which will be different than your control settings. So let's go and have a look at that again. So on their flight planner, they've got all these sectors around here. Got Class D airspace and restricted airspace, which is high up, 125 to 135. So 12,500 to 13,500 feet. So any way you right click, it will tell you what sectors that's going through. 155 to 175. So it shows it in flight levels, obviously. So this one here, 125 to 135. I wonder why. It's obviously some sort of corridor for military aircraft, isn't it? There's another one there, look. They've got their own corridors by the look of it. Okay. So we should actually be fine then. So we could take this up. What altitude did we need to clear the hills? Probably about 5,500 feet. We just need to be careful with this one we'll have a look on the map in the aircraft when we get close. I reckon we're going to get really close to it. So what's it actually called? Does it give itself a name? R137B. Restricted 137B. Hey. Although it says 8,500 to 14,000. Wonder what that's all about. I can't see any aeroplane. Why is it on this map? And it was also on Planner, but it's not appearing in here. It's that, isn't it? Yep. That isn't even on my map. I wonder if we went and looked at Navigraph, if that's got anything more, just to cross-reference the maps. So unload, new flights, pin, paste, delete, and it doesn't know the end airport, but we can see here there's that restricted area. Interesting. So Navigraph doesn't know about where we're going, so it's more or less useless. There's another one. Is that one appearing on here? Well, there's certainly something there, but it's a bit of a jumble. So this is the point we need to start climbing. So what did we say we needed? About 5,500. And as we climb, we can thin out the fuel more. So Little Trader says, don't you store your passwords on a sticky note on the monitor? Nope. All of my passwords are in an encrypted service. I actually use Bitwarden at home. We use one password at work, but I use Bitwarden at home. Actually, no, we don't use one password at work anymore. We used to. Okay, we can come back off the power a bit. 60 miles to run. Okay, so it's some sort of private airfield that we're going into. So we may have to navigate around and have a look at it on the way. So we just crossed the first lot, but we've actually gained altitude ready for this lot. So when we get closer to this, this is down the back of this valley, so we're going to need to, I'll hand fly it in, but we'll need to maneuver. So what, let's turn the sectors off. We're not going to worry about them anymore. So variable 3 knots on the ground, so there's no wind in the valley there. $40 miles to go. We've got plenty of fuel, we've got a quarter of a load. Looks quite comical, doesn't it, in speeded up motion? But otherwise we'd be here for hours. And it doesn't penalise you for increasing sim rate in missions, which is good. It's a shame they haven't implemented the same trick. Although I suppose they have a look. They've got skip to descent, but you get a penalty for it. So if you don't sit here like a lemon for 10 minutes, then you lose a load of money. I wonder if they'll change the rules when they update the sim. Refine them a bit, maybe. $24 miles to run. Oh, poor little Cessna that we've been trudging around the skies for hundreds and hundreds of miles is still going like a champ. It's only got minimal insurance, so if I do put it in the ground at some point, it's going to cost me a lot of money to buy another Cessna. I can't remember how much I spent on this one. It was about 25,000 second hand, I think. But I think the first plane you buy is massively discounted. I think if you go to buy another one, you're looking at 10 times that price. Okay, so 11 miles out. We'll get over the top of these hills and then I'll start flying by hand. So remember, it's about 5 miles out. The airfield will wake up. 6, 5, 1, 2, 3. We're back in real time. And there it goes. Waiting for him to talk. There's the final marker. So we're going out that side by the look of it.
November Victor Sierra Delta 5 miles west 5500. Fort inbound to land runway 19er.
Oh no, they want us to go the other way. So let's have a look at the map. Oh no, so yes, sorry, 19 is that side, of course it is. So let's turn the autopilot off. And we're just going to put ourselves the other side of the final marker and ignore their crazy pattern, which will pay probably no attention to the hills. So we'll just go and circle over these fields down here to descend, and then line up with the final marker when we're at the right sort of altitude. I'm not going to go and use side slip to descend really quickly because I don't know if it will affect the cargo. Whatever I do, I want to do smoothly. Because we could come... let's try it. Let's see if we get a penalty for it. At least then we know. So... keep it on the airspeed. What can we get away with? So we're presenting the right side of the aeroplane to the airflow. We're actually going that way. And that brings in enough drag that we can come down at 2,500 feet a minute. So we may be able to do this without circling. We just need to be careful about going into and out of the side slip smoothly. I'm going to circle left, so we need to loosen speed as well. There's no point hurrying this. Okay, got rid of the side slip. Flaps halfway down. Look at the speed fall off when the flaps come down. Put the mixture back. Where's the field? Oh, there it is. It's behind those trees. I'm just gonna...
Lima Foxtrot Victor Echo traffic Cessna Golf. November Victor Sierra Delta is taxiing to parking.
That just got the sound bite wrong, didn't it?
500.
It played the, rather than the finals message. That was quite amusing. Going a bit fast. Stop in time. Oh, I'm going to get told off. Yep, look at that. That's because I got distracted thinking about that message, thinking, hang on, did we actually get something wrong or was that a bug? But where we were supposed to announce finals, it told the ATC we were already taxiing, which was mighty odd. I don't think you get too much of a penalty in terms of money for going into the taxiway. It's just a reputation thing. And we did get away with it. We just got the tyres a little bit dusty. So let's see what it penalises. We probably lose the bonus because we went off the end of the runway. Oh look, it's saying there's a radio communication, but that wasn't a mistake. That was a bug. So Martin's saying, I just got the heavy cargo specialization done today. The certification to do, of course. But yeah, you won't see the missions until you are qualified to do them. We still got an A. It's just the procedure. That's because we went off the taxiway. I've got our flaps extended. I noticed 1 pixel over when I noticed we were going fast. Maybe that was enough. It shouldn't affect money though. No, look, it's fine. 145. Is that, yeah, that's going to drop down out of special because of that. Or super, sorry. I don't really mind. So we've now got over 500,000 credits. So we're about 1/4 of the way there towards getting a second-hand caravan. There's another one for 36,000 credits. We need to put some fuel in the airplane, don't we? So Jacob is saying there about the heavy lifters not being in it. Yeah, that's absolutely correct. But I don't think that's what they were asking. Oh no, you've got the heavy cargo. Okay. Oh my word, how many missions have you grinded out to do that? Accept. Transfer the closest aircraft. So then we need to go to management and fill it up. Can we accelerate this? Is there any way? No, we just have to roll the mouse mindlessly. So it's taking us up to maximum weight of the aircraft. Refuel, pay, nearly 3,000 credits. Back. And fly. So we'll clear this off the map. Pull up search. So we use all the shortcuts this time because it doesn't appear to make any difference. So Alt-N.
Hi there, it's Ludwig. Now that you're all set up, let me go over the important details.
I'll just put the flaps up.
You have bulk behind you. Standard shipment for one of our clients based in Couteville-sur-Mer, expected in no time at Granville. The sensitive cargo containers have a good tolerance with turbulences to preserve the cargo, but it's crucial you keep a smooth, yet quick flight. If you also ensure timely arrival, you maintain our high standards of service excellence, and everyone's satisfied. All relevant information is in your flight packet, which is uploaded on your map as a reference.
To LFRF.
Smooth sailing ahead.
Flight plan description. LFOZ to LFRF. Oh, where's the window gone? There's the route. Don't need search. And so we can fly at 2,500 feet all the way, or thereabouts. It's flat as a pancake. got the airplane ready. So ON, we don't have to announce taxi. We'll just skip to takeoff, and that will take us straight to the runway apron. Now this is interesting. So look outside. Yeah, look, the flaps have come back down on their own. So, announce takeoff.
Lima Foxtrot Oscar, Zulu Traffic Cessna Golf. November Victor Sierra Delta, taking off runway 23 departure to the west.
They haven't put standby battery armed either. So release parking brake. That similar situation can happen with the Beaver, where the parking brake can be reversed. So you need to cycle the parking brake before you land to make sure it's not on, because it will tip on its nose, obviously. Okay, let's go and center up the heading bug. Set. We're going to climb straight for 2,500 feet, regardless of what it says. I'm going to go heading mode on the autopilot and vertical speed. Climbing at 500 feet a minute. So that's all pre-selected. Taking all the fun out of it, aren't we? Just turning it into a procedural grind. So fuel tanks are full. It's quite a strong headwind. It's lifting us, look. You can see that before we got near rotation speed. So trim the airplane. Autopilot on. Whoa, it's really struggling, isn't it? I'm resisting the temptation to grab the stick. It seems to have stabilized. So it's holding 70 knots. As we come through 900, we'll receive further instruction. Climb to 1800 and fly to Granville, which is that way. So come back off the power gently. As long as we hold the speed, we'll be fine. And we'll do the usual trick. We're going to go and feed the same route into Planner. So copy the route description. Come over to the Flight Sim Planner, go to the route. Should we go and put the C172 in? Just so it gets it some details about the route. Save that. So there's our route. We should be over here somewhere. The online one doesn't see your position yet for some reason. Yeah, look, we've got a restricted airspace here. From ground to 2,500 feet. So if we climb above it, we should be alright. So let's go to 3,000 feet on purpose. Or even 5,000. So, sim rate. Put onto GPS mode now. and lean the engine out. We're through 3,000 feet now. So I'm just watching the RPM as I do it. Got a 13 knot headwind. Again, alarmingly slow, but we're nearly at 5,000 feet. There we go. So come off the power a little bit. Mixture back a lot further. That's it. And we're good to go. And we should be above those restrictions then. So let's turn the head tracking off for a moment and go and have a look in here. So if we turn those sectors on, let's see if it correlates. See, I can't see any. Is it this orange one? Restricted at Paris 7. Yeah, it's got to be, hasn't it? That orange. $8,500 to $11,500. But this is the one I was really interested in. Show information for that's saying 2,500 to 6,500. We're going to find out in a moment. Should I go this side of it on purpose? We can't do offset routes on a G1000, can we? So let's center the heading up the direction we're going. We're going to go back to heading mode, and we're just going to go a few degrees to the left. And just avoid that nasty looking little circle because I can't get good information on the altitudes, or that, you know, it doesn't correlate. And surely they should be red. Okay, then we'll turn our way back again. So we just went on the outside of it. So we're coming back towards the nav route, and then we'll go back to nav and let it jump back in. So half the reason I'm able to get away with the sim running at this rate is I've got a lot of headroom on the performance of the computer. So I'm running it capped at 30 frames a second and at 1080p and only on one screen with a 4090, which means I've got a stack of headroom of what it's capable of. So then speeding the sim up isn't going to kill it. So just for the benefit of Martin there in the live stream, I've had several people talk to me that have been running Flight Sim 2024 on an Xbox Series S, and it's acceptable. You know, it's much better than they thought it was going to be. No, not an X, on an S. So the S only has half the amount of graphical grunt, doesn't it? But it still is able to run Flight Sim 2024. I'm guessing it's chopped down to medium quality, but it's still very good. Okay, were there any more areas we need to look at along the route? No, we're clear for the rest of the way. Well, according to that map we are. Yeah, this looks okay as well. So this area here, according to this, is high altitude restricted, between 19 and 33. I wonder why. It's obviously some sort of military training area. There's lots of restricted routes through it, look. Interesting. Or is that the outline of it? Yeah, so... Anyway. We spent enough time worrying about that sort of thing. So let's have a look at Granville. If we go and just hover the mouse over it in LittleNavMap, it'll tell us about the weather. So we got 190 degrees, 5 knots, so we're probably coming in runway 24. So we'll swing out to the right when we get to the 5 mile mark. And hopefully all will be good. We could probably dip down under this cloud and go look at the countryside, couldn't we? It's so flat underneath us, or at least I think it was. So yeah, we could come down to... Should we come down to 2,000 feet? Keep an eye on the power. Don't want to go in over speed. Get told off again. Is 2,000 feet going to be low enough to get underneath the cloud layer? Probably not. Or maybe. It's going to be right on the edge. Yes, not quite. Okay, let's go for 1,700 feet. Now and again. I don't want to go much lower than that because, as you can see, the ground isn't very consistent, and the autopilot, when speeded up, could get us alarmingly close to the ground. It does look funny, doesn't it, speeded up? So the setting of bindings, I'm just reading the live stream comments there about configuring the sim when you first get in it. I took the decision on the PC version to not meddle with it. I've gone with all of the default bindings and just relearned. I know several people that have tried to turn it into the old sim and they've come unstuck immediately, and they've ended up asking, how do I get this back to normal? Or, how do I get it back to stock? Or they've just, of their own volition gone and put it back to stock and quietly got on with it. But I saw how different the bindings were. This airplane's getting filthy, isn't it? It needs a wash. Look at the state of it. I only just noticed that. Look at the windscreen. Is it that bad outside? Yeah, look. It's a mess. Around the engine as well. Oh crikey, I need to go and give it a wash, don't I? So, 25 minutes out if we were in normal time. Let's give it a bit more oxygen. So we're going to get alarmingly close to these windmills, but I think we'll just squeak down the side. Eek! If we had been any closer, I would have guided the aeroplane away from them. 30 miles to run. Okay, where have we gone off the map? Oh, there we are. So we're zooming in towards Granville. Or Granville. $23 miles. So yeah, we'll do the same again. When you get to about 6 or 7 miles, I'll turn the rate back down. We should get a message from ATC momentarily after that, and then we can just maneuver for landing and hit the shortcut keys to avoid taxiing for a nautical mile across the ground at walking pace. $16 miles. Okay, 10 miles to run. Get ready on the keyboard. Okay, we're back to normal speed with 5 miles to run. We're guessing, yeah, we're going runway 24. I'm guessing that's what's going to happen. We'll go heading mode on the autopilot and we'll turn the airplane to the right, and it's just come up, look, asking us to talk, or giving us the opportunity to talk to ATC. And there's the
Lima
final marker.
Foxtrot, Romeo Foxtrot traffic Cessna Golf. November Victor Sierra Delta 5 miles east 1700. Fort inbound to land runway 24.
So it'll make more sense. The way they've coloured these makes it very difficult to see which one's in front of which. We essentially want to do that line or something close to it. Let's turn the sectors off so they don't keep popping up information we don't want. Okay, let's go and fly now. We'll bring it in a bit slower this time, hey? So we don't go skidding off the end of the runway and lose some reputation. I think it's embarrassment factor. There's the runway. So you want to come through the final marker in line with the runway to make life easy.
Lima Foxtrot Romeo Foxtrot traffic Cessna Golf. November Victor Sierra Delta is on final runway 24 to land.
It started to sink then. Wasn't that slow? Wind is absolutely whistling across this airfield. Wind tried to get underneath the wing then. I haven't got differential brakes. This is half the problem. You can kind of hack it by opening the throttle and applying the brakes, and the outside wheel won't engage. And Control Shift E. So what procedures did it not like? It said I operated correctly, but apparently I missed a procedure somewhere. That may be just because of shortcutting. So we made 117,000 credits on the flight. It's not bad going. So we've now got 640,000 credits. I wonder if we go and have a look. I wonder if the price ever changes of the airplanes. Nope, still 2.2 million. This is going to take weeks, isn't it? Unless we get some really high-paying missions turn up. So I went through late last night and did the last few of the normal certifications. I haven't done the heavy yet, obviously, because you can't unlock it, because it's not there yet. The 737 one is probably the easiest of all of the ones I've done so far, which I was not expecting. So if we look in specializations, I've got cargo medium. To get cargo transport heavy, I need to, again now look, so perform flights for full ATC procedures with an airplane, that's fine. I need to be at level 75 and score cargo transport medium missions with A or above. They appear very rarely, the transport medium. And to do a transport medium, I would need, this is the thing, it's chicken and egg. I guess I could go and do them as an employee. That might be the way to do it. So can we see any cargo boxes around here? That's a light. I don't think you can differentiate them. That's a light. Light. Are they a different colour? Transport light. Missions. What does the G mean? Standard cargo dispatched to... The trouble is, the pay's rubbish for employee missions. I wonder if we go and look around the world. Transport light. What about some of the gold ones? There's some odd ones, aren't there? It's a photography mission. Aerial advertising. Crop dusting. Scientific research. Charter VIP airliner. Boeing 737 MAX. Private transfer to Los Angeles. Can we do it? Not it's going to help me, but I mean, I could quite happily go and do a 737 flight, but I don't know. I'd rather go and get this cargo stuff done. Ah, is this a medium cargo? Yes, it is. Do we have to do... Okay, we have to do the special missions then. Does it tell us what aircraft type it is? It's probably going to be a Twin Otter, isn't it? Accept mission. Oh, it might be a Caravan. To be honest, it's no different than flying a Cessna. I don't see why they try to trumpet there being such a big difference between, yay, it's a Caravan. How much fuel have they put in it? We need £948. Presumably it's done for us though, because we're just an employee. So we can't manage it. So all we can do is go fly. So we need to do a mixture of these and our own flights to get the points. It's a nice paint job on the airplane, isn't it? Horizon Airlines Cargo. I do like the depth of field tricks with the camera that it has now. Okay, I don't know if any of you have got experience with the Caravan. It's really easy to fly, like really easy. It's a bit different to start up, but I can show you that. We'll start it by hand just to illustrate it. I'm just going to go and have a check round, make sure there's nothing else. Don't think there is because it's already changed up here. So we can just walk up to the handle and do it this way. And so you fell out then.
Good morning.
I think
So
it was the
today's
footsteps.
destination is Miyakeville, and we're loaded with general freight. Everything's secure at the back. Nothing's moving. It's going to be smooth and easy.
It's famous last words, that is. Well, they really have put a lot of stuff in here, haven't they? Okay, so I'll turn head tracking off. I'll show you this for anyone who's not seen the Caravan. So you got your main battery switch over here, and then you got fuel boosters on norm at the moment. Generator we have to reset in a moment. You got the avionics switches, so obviously you don't get anything in terms of engine condition unless you turn on. Now, I forget which one's which. I'm not sure if this differentiates it, but we'll put the first one on first. Go and put the beacon light on before starting the engines. And that gives you the engine gauges. So what we're going to do is go and hit the start. Oh, we need to check the fuel. This is, yeah, that's pushed in. So Then we need to just check my controls here. So what have I got? Yeah, this hasn't been configured. So settings, controls. I'm looking at the quadrant. And yeah, it's not got nothing on the airplane controls that's been selected. So I'm going to go and choose throttle and propeller. So my left stick will be the throttle, and it smoothly runs through all the way. It doesn't go to reverse. So I've got an option for that. So if I go to settings, controls, and I've got a different one of the same profile with the 0 to 100 set up on it. So basic throttle and propeller 0 to 100. So it's just the axes that changes. Let's see what difference that makes. No, it's not. So we're going to go back to the other one. So this hasn't been configured to work that way. Quite commonly in the sim, aeroplanes are configured to work either one way or the other. So basic throttle and propeller. Back. So what that means is I've got the throttle on my left stick and the propeller RPM on my right stick. All I'm looking at here is reverse. So yeah. So if I want to reverse, I'm just wondering if this is configured that that's idle and that's reverse. And then is there any more writing down here? No, it's just going to max reverse. So if that was normal, well, that's beta, isn't it? So maybe it is configured for that. Okay. Anyway, so what we'll do is we'll hit the starter, and you'll see the propeller whiz round. And you'll see the NG climbing. That's the RPM. And the prop RPM as well. So then you can advance this to what's called low idle.
The skids have high tolerance with turbulence, but make sure you keep the delivery smooth and on time.
When this comes up through, I think it's 50%, you can advance to high idle. You don't have to during taxi. We're going to put some lights on. So the fuel was already on, that's interesting. Didn't used to be. So nav lights on, taxi lights on, seatbelts light, no smoking signs on. Don't need any anti-ice. It's 5 degrees outside, so it's not quite freezing. I don't think any of this is simulated. Oh, it is! Oh my word! They really have gone to town with this. So the breakers all work. So we better have a look at them now and again. Okay, so once the aircraft goes through 50% as well on the starter, you can turn the starter off. We need to go and then reset the generator. And we can turn the other avionics bus on. I'm not doing bad for doing this from memory, am I? We have to go and calibrate the altimeter. And we can announce taxi.
Jofa Traffic Cessna Juliet Alpha 1022 is taxiing to runway 17.
So I'm going to try this. We're going to increase the propeller speed, and then we're going to go reverse. Come off the brakes. So yeah, that hasn't got reverse. So what I am going to do then, if it's mapped that way, is I'm going to go to my controls. I'm going to search by input for the button on the left of my stick, and I'm going to, I want to get rid of it. Arm auto throttle. For this particular control profile, I'm going to delete that. So search by input again. I'm going to press that button. So I'm pressing the button on the side of the throttle. And what I want to do is toggle, hold throttle reversed thrust, and I'm going to press that button in. So when I hold that red button in, it will go into reverse automatically. Okay, so go back, save and back. Let's try it. That's good. Another one with terrible turning circle. So we know we don't have to do this anyway. We start the airplane up. So, announce takeoff.
Chauffeur traffic Cessna Juliet, Alpha 1022, taking off runway 17 departure to the south.
Release the parking brake. Into the runway. Hopefully this will turn sharply enough to get us onto the runway. Look, it's turning more sharply now. Figure that one out. Look, it's doing fine. So make sure we've got everything fine. So okay, when we did the automatic taxi out, it's advanced the fuel for us to high idle or flight. Just gonna make sure this is all okay. All looks fine. So we want the taxi and the landing lights on for takeoff, please. Stall heat and I don't think it is all simulated properly, but we'll see. So we can do the same trick where we center up the heading bug, and you only need a left click on this one to do it. We're going to do the same trick with the altitude. We'll go and say 1500. Actually, we could go straight for climb, couldn't we? Because we know this. We know how this works now. We'll also go and map it onto our map. So RJTF to RJTQ. Flight plan. RJTF, RJTQ. Oh, it's gone away. I thought I was being so clever. RJTF, RJTQ. Create flight plan. So that's our plan. So we're waiting to take off. So the real reason for doing this again, I don't think we're going to get any problems here, but we're going to put in here 208 for the Cessna 208. So again, we'll do the same. RJTF, RJTQ. Save. There's the route, and that's not restricted, that's just an airport. Or at least I don't think it is. No, it's just Class E airspace. Cool. Should we get on with it? Obviously, being a turboprop, it's a little bit different. You've got torque to play with. It's swaying around on the tyres.
V1, rotate.
And we've got call-outs as well. That's rather interesting. So climb to 8,000 feet. Oh my word. I pressed enter. Honestly.
Yokoto approach Cessna Juliet Alpha 1022 is type Cessna Caravan 1 mile south of Chofa 500 feet. Request flight following.
Cessna Juliet Alpha 1022 Yokoto approach. Squawk 1701.
So has it done that for us? Acknowledge squawk.
Squawk 170,
here.
1 Cessna 022.
Yes, 1701.
Cessna Cessna 022 radar contact 2 miles south of Chofu 1,200 feet altimeter 29er. 9er 4.
Climb to 8,000 feet. So,
Cessna 022, did you hear my last transmission?
oops, I missed that.
Roger, Cessna 022.
This is trying to roll left like a so-and-so. I'm going to turn head tracking off. It's making me really slow at being able to do anything. So autopilot on and roll this through to 8,000. Where's it going? That's the problem. And now it's fishtailing. Really badly. So we need to get this under control. So vertical speed, get the nose back down to a 900 feet a minute. Airspeed will stop it flailing.
Cessna Juliet Alpha 1022 is cleared to Romeo Juliet Tango Quebec Airport is filed.
I'm going to turn the autopilot off. It's going to break the aeroplane.
Cessna 022 contact Tokyo Center on 119er. Tree 5. Good day.
119er. Tree 5 for Cessna 022. Tokyo Center Cessna Juliet Alpha 1022
What is this doing?
is at 3,800 feet, climbing 8,000 feet. Cessna Juliet Alpha 102.
It just keeps trying to kill itself.
Altimeter 29er. 9er 4 radar contact. Continue.
Right, let's preset vertical speed.
Cessna 022 contact Tokyo Center on 134. 15. Good day.
When I pre-selected vertical speed, it behaved itself.
022. Tokyo Center Cessna Juliet Alpha 1022.
It would help if this
is at
didn't keep getting in the way of me
4,600
doing
feet,
things.
Climbing 8,000 feet. Cessna Juliet Alpha 1022 Tokyo Center altimeter 29er. 9er 4 radar contact. Continue.
Okay, drama over. For some reason the autopilot just completely lost its mind on climb out. But we're okay now. I had to grab it off of the autopilot before it ripped the airplane to pieces. No, so Stuart's on about, yeah, the autopilot's trying to follow with the lock. Initially it wasn't. It went for heading, but then it started flailing either side. It was and it pulled up vertical speed so high that it couldn't then control itself, and it got into I guess a loop of fighting against itself. I've seen it before. So we need to pull the propeller speed back and the throttle. There we go. So getting up to a turn, and we're coming up to 8,000 feet slowly. See if we can get a bit more power out of it to get up onto the altitude we should be at. go. So I can calm the engine down a bit now. I think it's about 1900 foot-pounds you're looking for on the torque usually for cruise. Could even be less. So Alt R, 1, 2, 3. Speed time up. I didn't do a flight level change, so APM Jones is saying, yeah, if you use FLC, the moment you press it, it will read the current airspeed. But I didn't do flight level change. In fact, has this model even got it? Don't think. Oh yes, it does. But I didn't use that. I was using vertical speed. What's going on? Has this just lost the plot? Let's zoom out. This has just lost the GPS. I mean, it's fine. We can just use heading mode, but it's a bit of a mystery as to why it's happened. It just lost its course. Was there a discontinuity? No. Let's have a look at the map. Is there a procedure here? So VOR DME a Canon where's the tablet gone when you want it? Oh, here it is. Yeah, the guidance system on the airplane's shot. That either means it's broken and it's simulated a failure, or it's just rubbish. So we're going to be using heading mode. Because as you saw, the flight plan suddenly vanished. Now there's nothing wrong here. This has just got the approach. It hasn't got any en route waypoints though, which is kind of interesting. Should we give it one and see if it makes any difference to it? So let's put in Hatsu as an en route waypoint. So there's us. So if we go and that's interesting. Look, it's asking us to go over to Excel for the VOR. It's completely lost its mind, hasn't it? Excel is nothing to do with our route, but it's got this VOR DME approach. RJTQ VOR DME. the Scott transition goes further out, but still nowhere near what they're talking about. There's the cannon. That's in the aeroplane. But the EFB should be the source of truth. And it's got nothing. So Flight Simulator has thrown us a huge curveball there. It's gone and programmed in an RNAV approach when the tablet hasn't got that. The tablet is the source of truth for, you know, what you've been given. And we can prove this even further actually if we go and look in. Did we get an OFP? Oh, maybe we don't. I thought we did. It'd be an extra thing here, wouldn't it? Or do we have to... No, it's in here, isn't it? That's what I'm thinking of. The briefing. And again, that's only going to put in what we've told it. If we went in here and... Can we well, we'd have had to have saved this. That's annoying. Anyway, we can recover. We'll just fly heading mode. So we're flying it towards Cannon. So on a... That's a waypoint just outside of RJTQ. So we have got that in the route then. Oh, I hate this. This interface is horrible. So let's imagine we're going here. Add cannon to the flight plan. Put us there. So we're zooming along. Above 2,500 feet.
Cessna 022, you are tree 5 miles north of Romeo, Juliet Tango, Quebec. Contact tower on 125. Niner when inbound. Descend and maintain 2,500 feet. Expect VOR DME Alpha approach via Scott transition circle to land runway 20. Cleared to Scott Cessna 022. Tower on 125. Niner Cessna 022.
That's going beta. I'm going to put the limits on the throttle. Okay. So we'll just follow the instructions. So MOE04 is part of this approach look that was programmed in that doesn't appear on the tablet. Oh well. This just goes direct. It never had it. I wonder if we can put it into the tablet then. So select the approach. So it's the VORDME-A cannon approach. And it's not this, oh, it was direct, wasn't it? So, change procedure. And then come back. And it's more like it now. Good. So it does appear there's some rough edges then.
Tower Cessna Juliet Alpha 10, 222 7 miles north inbound for Demi Alpha approach circle to land runway 20.
Cessna Juliet Alpha 1022 Tower. Altimeter 29er. Niner 6 cleared for Ardini Alpha approach.
Cleared viewer Demi Alpha approach Cessna 022.
So we're still dropping down to 2,500 feet. We don't need to come down quite as steeply as we are. It's over here, isn't it? So we put some power back on. I can't remember how many times. I think that's normal speed, or is it? The clock looks right. Yeah, that looks normal speed. So that's 3 lots of acceleration. Look at it sway. So let's zoom back in. So we get some idea of what's coming. We haven't got Navigraph running, have we? Ah, we've broken Navigraph now as well. Great. So, Canon. In 10 miles and straight in. Although this is looking complicated, it's not. How are we doing for fuel? Oh, we got loads of fuel. £300 each side. The only reason this is swaying around for anybody that's just wandered into the live stream is because I've got time accelerated, and it's the simulator becomes more and more glitchy the faster you overdrive it. Now look at that, it's getting into an oscillation now. Look. I wonder if we go and go, your damper's on, will it make any difference to it? A little bit. It still starts trying to do it again now. Probably find out it'll get worse. That doesn't seem to be going fast enough to be speeded up. If we turn the autopilot off, I bet it will go completely, it will calm itself down. Or not. No, the wind is still kicking us around. So this wants us to fly through Cannon, which we're not going to on this route. So I'm going to go. Can we show the wind? I want to see why this is. Oh, we got a 30 knot crosswind. That's why we're being chucked around. What I'm trying to do here is make sure we, even though it's not marking us Cannon as a marker, I'm going to make sure we fly through it. Oh no, it's just changed. Look, fly MOE04. Stupid thing. Are they serious? Is this really going to... What's the weather doing on the ground down here? $230 degrees, 9 knots. So in the lee of the island, it's okay. I'm going to send the autopilot off, just wrestle it in. So shift space, Alt 7, I'm just going to press Alt 8 down here so I can sit up and see over the top easily. So yeah, we're being pushed around by an enormous crosswind, 35 knots gusting, which is why it keeps kicking the tail, and that's making the nose sway. So I'm not going to use accelerated time on the way in. You'd think the wind would be kicking up the surf more. Hello. Didn't see her when we got in. She seems quite calm, considering she obviously hasn't seen me land before. The wind down on the runway is nowhere near as bad. So in the lee of the hill, it's fine. The wind's coming across this way, so it'll be going. You know, the hill is acting as a natural wind break. And you can see down here, look, we're down to 30 knots now. It's slowly, as we descend as well, it's slowly getting better. Should we... That was clever of me, wasn't it? Oh, stupid thing. The wind turned, it hit us in the face, and blew the plane up. Now the interesting thing is, the airplane survived. So you haven't lost the airplane. You just get a reputation penalty. So let's do that again. And keep an eye on the wind this time with it swirling. And it's not swaying now, look. And we've still got the 30 knot crosswind, but it's not swaying. But yeah, this is dangerous. Look, if that wind turns, it will overspeed us within seconds unless I turn the sim rate down.
Flaps overspeed, Captain. Flaps overspeed, Captain.
So the simulator had spawned us with the flaps down, even though the controls were not in the flaps down. Oh, there's so many little bugs in this, aren't there? And we've got the wobble going now, look. And we're about to overspeed the airframe again. So the wind is turning around. So we're almost back to where we were. Look at that wobble. Anybody see anything? Wonder how much of a penalty we'll get for overspeeding the airframe. Wonder if it was zero everything, maybe. I don't know. But we'll find out. That's half the reason we're streaming this. We find all these things out.
Cessna 022 line 281 at 19er. Cleared to land runway 20.
Okay, that's normal speed.
Cleared to land runway 20, Cessna 022.
Oh, he sounded quite tired, didn't he? I'm trying to think if I've been in here before. I'm not going to follow the boxes. Just giving the wings a waggle to make sure the aircraft's actually responding. Isn't going to slow down. There's something wrong with the controls of the engines. No, I couldn't do anything about that. The wind got under the wing.
22 turn next taxiway.
And it's taken us back out again.
Tower Cessna Juliet
Let's try again.
Alpha 1022 is going missed.
Cessna 022 contact Tokyo Center on 13415. Good day.
So it's put the flaps up. It did it again. It blew the plane up with the flaps again.
022, did you copy? Cessna
It went full
022,
flaps on its own. And it's done it again. Oh well. So, live weather has the capacity to make uncontrollable landing conditions where the wind can get under your wing even as you're slowing down. Okay, that's normal speed.
500.
and let's try that again. So we're dropping the flaps. And let's see if we can actually get the airplane down. I was on full aileron when the airplane rolled over. So what wind have we got? 18, 20, 20, 25 knots, 14 knots, 25 knots. Yeah, it's gusting all over the place, isn't it? Go. I don't know how we held on to that. That was full right aileron and hit reversers at the moment we touched the ground. Where's the hold short? Can we get there without the airplane tipping over in the wind? Just trying to wrestle with the thrustmaster controls. They're obviously not configured quite right for the throttle curves. I can't stop. I'm having to use the parking brakes. That's at minimum throttle and it's just accelerating like crazy. Something else we can try to see if we can get a hold of it, and that's put it back to ground idle. It's still accelerating. That's the absolute minimum throttle that I can program. This must be uphill.
Sweet home. Looks like you had a quite challenging flight, right, Captain? Nothing damaged, but it was close call. We'll take care of everything for now. Wishing you a smooth debrief team. Welcome to Miyakeville. By the way...
Smooth debrief team? Do you mean where they give me my P45? Oh my word. How is that a success? Look at that. 0. That's because it crashed. 3 crashes, 3 flap extended beyond conditions. What happened to that then? We got a lot of experience points. What about money? Oh, I'm an employee for that flight, aren't I? So I earned almost nothing. And it took a huge lump look out of my reputation. I'm back to C class instead of up near S. Because I put 3 planes in the ground. Oh dear, that was fun. It's I think some people might get frustrated when things like that happen. I tend to just think, oh, that's interesting, we've learned something new for next time. But so looking at specializations, if we go and look at cargo media, or cargo heavy, yeah, you have to perform with A or above to do transport heavy. So obviously I didn't because of the mishaps. That's a shame. What's in super heavy then? Okay, it's the Bs, yeah. So has it got no freight versions of the A340? Actually, the A330 or anything like that? That's a shame. Should we do one more? Or is that probably enough for tonight? So these are only light missions. Let's go and have a look, just out for fun and entertainment purposes. Let's go and look at the certifications. I've not done a rotorcraft one. Commercial pilot's license rotorcraft allows you to fly a helicopter for compensation or hire and perform lots of fascinating jobs. So what do we have to do? Take the exam. Purchase. This is your final check ride. Well, I haven't done any yet. Time to show what you can do by performing a small cross-country flight at the helm of the Gwembel Cabri G2 light helicopter. This top-of-the-line piston rotorcraft, blah, 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 blah. You will be taking off from Bern-Belp Airport. And then, so before we do this, I'm going to go back to free flight. I suspect the helicopters are still bugged. And I'm sure people are going to jump in and say, yeah, this happens to me too. I'll show you what I mean. So we'll go to D83, Boonville. It's a nice quiet corner of California. We'll go and put our helicopter on the ground down here. So there's the Cabri. And we are going to start the flight. And I want to illustrate something to you. This may be the end of the evening session if this doesn't... This might have been fixed. I haven't checked it. Right, ready to fly. So we're wandering around, aren't we? So we can press... Oh, do we have to go and do all this stuff? We do, don't we, on a free flight? I forgot that. So Shift-C. No, not Shift-C. Alt-C, is it to crouch? I can't remember. You have to be able to get to all the things, don't you? I don't think there's anything else gumming it up. Just want to see underneath. So if I press Control E, and while we're waiting, or before the rotors start spinning, I'm going to go and have a look at the quadrant. Helicopter controls. So it's got the default helicopter set up on the quadrant. So let's see what it's actually got. search by input, and I'm going to pull the left throttle back. That's the collective. Search by input, I'm going to pull the right stick back. Set helicopter throttle axis. What does that mean? So touching that killed the engine. So press Ctrl E again. So as long as I don't touch that right axis, see, I would have imagined if we go into settings, this may mean that I still can't fly helicopters for the moment. If I search by input, yeah, set throttle axis, we're going to remove that. Delete assign control. Okay. And go back. So we've got nothing on that axis at the moment. So we're going to look for throttle. And are there throttles for helicopter? Here we go. Helicopter throttle axis we're looking for. Set. That's the set helicopter throttle axis. So this is weird, isn't it? So if I look on pilot, this is the stick. I just want to see what's set on it. We've got helicopter controls are pre-configured. Increase throttle is button 5. Now, which button is that? There are 1, 2, 3. There's 12 buttons on the base of the stick, so we can find out by doing this. That's 16, 15, 14, 8, 9, 10, 7, 6, 5. That's increased throttle then, and that's decreased throttle. Okay. Makes no sense. But they're also doing the views, which makes no sense. Settings. They've not finished configuring controls, have they? This is the problem. So if I just type in throttle and go to throttle axis, helicopters axis, and I have to, so L axis Y. Okay, go back, save, back. So that's given me throttle, but it's not responding to it. I think they might be broken. Or is that, does that mean rotor brake? Yes, it does. Oh, that would explain a lot. I just want to get the helicopter working. And I'm going to reverse. Whoa, it's the right way round. it's broken the undercarriage. That's fine. So I'm going to go and reverse the collective while we're in the air. Controls. Quadrants. Collective axis, and we are going to... Yeah, they've inverted it. Why did they do that? Save them back. We should have half a chance now. Yay, we can fly the helicopters. After a bit of... Oh, that was... I'd heard they'd improved the physics in this. That was quite impressive. We were in ring vortex state then. There it goes again, look. Whoa! Okay, so we got the helicopters under control. So we can go back out to main menu. Now we've configured the... I just thought, I configured it. Did I save any of it? When I changed the axes... Let's go back down. I want to go and see what those axes were called. Oh, we can do it in here, can't we? Controls. It's made one, look, my new helicopter profile. So I'm going to rename that and call it Basic Helicopter Profile. But they're obviously bugged really badly. Back. Quit. No, I don't want to quit. I don't want to do that. I want to go to career mode, and we'll go and do the helicopter exam and see what's involved. And I don't want to do a mission. Oh, I'm getting tired, aren't I? There's no live missions. That's interesting. Certification. Let's go and do this helicopter test then, take the exam. So now we have controls for the Cabri. I was just throwing the controls around, Martin. I just saw your comment. That's quite amusing though, wasn't it? Leapt into the air, smashed it back down. I was just making sure that the levers were working. We can obviously be a lot more careful this time. I wonder if she realises that she only has minutes left to live. Okay, so to do the test, do we have to do? We don't have to do this for the test, do we? Anything in the missions, you can skip starting the airplane up.
This short test is the last step towards completing your helicopter commercial pilot license. I know that you have been training for this with the Cabri G2. It's only logical that this is the rotorcraft that you will be flying today. As your pilot examiner, I am tasked with making sure that you perform a safe flight today. You will be taking off from Bern-Belp Airport and performing a small cross-country flight.
I never think to look at them to see their lip syncing.
Follow basic safety rules. Apply the concepts that you learned throughout your lessons, and I'm sure that you will be doing fine.
Bern Ground Golf, November Victor Sierra Delta request taxi for straight out departure with Mike.
Golf, November Victor Sierra Delta taxi to and hold short of runway 14 using taxiway Kilo Alpha. Contact tower on 121. 025 when ready.
Taxi to and hold short runway 14 using taxiway Kilo Alpha Victor Sierra Delta.
This has reset the control profiles. It's chosen. It hasn't chosen the ones I configured. Nah, it says it has. Save and back, and it's just suddenly changed its mind. Look at that, it's reversed. If I pull downwards, it was doing the opposite. It's now working. No, it's just taken off vertically with me on minimum, on minus collective. So is there a collective gauge here so we can confirm this is broken? What the hell is going on? Yeah, it's just taken off all on its own. This might take a while because we need to figure out what's wrong with the controls. I had the collective all the way back to off, and it was taking off on its own. So Alt and N gets us in the airplane or helicopter.
This short test is the last step towards completing your helicopter commercial pilot license. I know that you have been training for this with the Cabri G2. It's only logical that this is the rotorcraft that you will be flying today. As your pilot examiner, I am tasked with making sure that you perform a safe flight today. You will be taking off from Burnbelp Airport and performing a small cross-country flight towards Thun Airfield. Follow basic safety rules, apply the concepts that you learned throughout your lessons, and I'm sure that you will be doing fine.
Oh, I know what's happening. I've seen this before. I am moving the collective. It's moving the throttle. And then moving the throttle is moving it as it should. But then if I move the collective is somehow moving the throttle as well. I think it's broken in the sim on the Thrustmaster controllers. So if I search by input, that is the only thing that's on that axis. But somehow it's influencing the throttle. Okay, so if it's the governor, can we turn it off? Or is there a way to influence it in the cockpit? This is interesting, isn't it? So what you're essentially saying is then that me asking for collective is linked to the throttle, which is what I can see here. So if I don't touch the throttle and just use the collective, yeah, this is where it's weird, look. I've just taken off all on my own without touching the collective. So what the collective is all the way down, and it suddenly came up. Okay, I know how to get around this. I've put the throttle switch in. That's what's wrong with it. I can't afford to let the collective get that low. Let's just have a fly around and have a practice. Okay, now we know how it's behaving. We can do this. Okay, so restart the exam. There is a bug in it. When you go to 0 collective, it suddenly goes positive on the collective to 100%. But if I could get away with no governor, that would be great.
This short test is the last step towards completing your helicopter commercial pilot license. I know that you have been training for this with the Cabri G2. It's only logical that this is the rotorcraft that you will be flying today. As your pilot examiner, I am tasked with making sure that you perform a safe flight today. You will be taking off from Burnbelp Airport and performing a small cross-country flight towards Thun Airfield. Follow basic safety rules, apply the concepts that you learned throughout your lessons, and I'm sure that you will be doing fine.
Okay.
Burn ground golf. November Victor Sierra Delta, request taxi for departing straight out with Oscar.
Golf, November Victor Sierra Delta taxi to and hold short of runway 14 via taxiway Kilo Alpha. Contact tower on 121. 025 when ready.
Taxiing hold short runway 1 for using taxiway Kilo Alpha Victor Sierra Delta.
Getting a feel for it. Not been in a helicopter for months. Tower Golf.
November Victor Sierra Delta at runway 14 ready for departure, departing straight out.
Golf, November Victor Sierra Delta QNH 101 tree straight out departure approved. Cleared for takeoff, runway 14.
Cleared for takeoff, runway 14 Victor Sierra Delta.
Not at 2,500 feet yet. Only at 2,200 feet. What's it talking about? Slowly getting there, but so we just have to trudge along until we get to the destination. It's going to be fun, isn't it? Okay, there's our target altitude. Oh, we're losing altitude. Scenery's good, isn't it? Just keeping half an eye on the altimeter because of this being the test, obviously.
Delta leaving my airspace, frequency change approved.
Burn Tower Golf, November Victor Sierra Delta frequency change.
A bit of a quieter experience, isn't it, in a helicopter? That's very odd. Should we have a look from outside? bored, doesn't she? Can't blame it, to be honest. It's not the most riveting experience ever, is it? Trundling towards a waypoint in a helicopter at a specified height. Whoops.
Lima Sierra Zulu Whiskey Traffic Golf. November Victor Sierra Delta 5 miles north 2500. Fort inbound to land runway 14.
They're not going to make us land on a helipad then. I thought that'd be half the fun of flying a helicopter. I think the only major, just reading the live stream comments in the corner of my eye here, I think the only major struggle with 2024 is everybody has different hardware. You know, I mean, in terms of flight controllers. And they haven't quite got around to programming all of the devices with nice default profiles. So most of the airplanes are pretty good, and they're in the ballpark. But they haven't got around to doing all of them, or they've just carried stuff over from 2020. So it takes a while to realise how to configure different controllers, or what is in the toy box as well. You know, what you can configure to a given controller. Which would have been an impossible task, and the problem is everybody thinks that, or sorry, not everybody, but a lot of people seem to presume that Asobo should have given them the moon on a stick. And they will complain bitterly if they don't get the moon on a stick that works for exactly what they've got out of the box, which is a bit of an ask, really. Right, let's see if we can get at least over the top of this marker and see where we're going next. Airfield. Land on airfield. Okay, so there's the runway. So that grass strip is runway 14. Okay.
Lima Sierra Zulu Whiskey Traffic Golf. November Victor Sierra Delta is on final runway 14 to land.
So all I need to do is put it down on the grass then. That's easy enough, he says. Based on the last 10 minutes, maybe not so easy. I wonder if there's a correct place on the runway I'm supposed to be. Am I supposed to be on the painted lines, or in between the painted lines? Or which oh, it's okay, the right hand one is the runway. But it says land on airfield. Do I land right on top of the marker? Or just on the grass? I'm inclined to go and land over where the marker is, though it's saying it's really close. I'm going to go over here.
Congratulations on obtaining your rotorcraft commercial pilot license. That was
That did that on its own, as it tried to shut the engine down. That's funny. That took off. I pulled the controls back, and it suddenly took off again. So will that leap into the air and slam down have negatively impacted the test, do you reckon? No, it didn't. It was after it had stopped testing. So I did fine. Respect the pattern altitude. Yeah, I went a couple of 100 feet away from it, didn't I, initially? Respect taxi path was pretty good. But I think obviously the choppers have got some stuff to be fixed, so I doubt I'll look at them until Asobo have looked at them. They're far more difficult than they should be. Rotorcraft passed. I can now use the GT. Why you'd ever want to fly on a mission, I'll never know. So I'm guessing this is going up to the little Airbus helicopters, is it? And eventually you go and drop packing crates on people's heads with the sky crane. Anyway, I'm going to leave it there for tonight. I'm getting tired, and we've been at this for a long time. So you saw all kinds of corners of this evening, and we're still hacking it, really, of trying to figure out what you can get away with, what you can't. The helicopter controls are obviously still a huge struggle, but they'll get there. So Asobo will carry on updating it. Obviously, we're due, I guess, tomorrow. There's probably going to be another update, is there? So it'll be interesting to see what they change and what gets fixed. So how are we doing in terms of money? I'm getting up towards 750,000 credits. So, or 2/3 I should say. So I guess a couple of days of grinding out missions, and I'll have enough to go and get a caravan, and then can go and do some decent money-making missions. Anyway, thanks for following along. Hopefully we've all learnt a few more bits and pieces about the sim, particularly with the helicopters. That was interesting. And I'll see you all again soon. So take care.